This is the spot I had available in my house for a quarantine tank. I really wanted to try to keep this a relaxing space, but if you know quarantine tanks, they can tend to end up looking like a science experiment that you forgot about in the garage. So I wanted to try to do better than that and make a tank that stayed functional for the quarantine needs, but was also something you'd actually like to look at. So my first stop was to the craft store, where I picked up the perfect paper for the look I was going for. Then I just laid down this mat to keep the tank from sticking to the shelf. And I just taped the paper to the bottom of the tank to be sort of like a replacement for the substrate. Then I added some plastic decor and cover, and I made sure nothing was too sharp, including this sea glass that I found on Amazon. So I just gave it a rinse and I placed it around the tank. This is a surge protector tower with an on-off switch because next is the heater, which is very important in a hospital tank. I used this flexible airline tubing and added the air stone and attached it to the pump. And that is a pressure valve, which I later took off because I don't think it was really working. But I did add a check valve next to that. And then I added the top fin silent stream filter that came with this 10-gallon kit. And I actually added some modifications to this filter to make it more efficient and budget friendly. So if you're interested in seeing that video, I'll include a link at the end. Then all that's left is the thermometer, and it's time for water. This is where being in the bathroom is really convenient because I can just use the shower head and choose my temperature. So it's a good idea to just test your water before putting anything in it to just get a baseline. Luckily, my tap water doesn't have any extra chlorine, and I know it's on the softer side. And now we're ready to add our conditioner and bacteria. So I'm just going to start with my Fritz Complete water conditioner, which will neutralize chlorine and chloramine if you have any, but it also removes any heavy metals and prepares it for the nitrogen cycle, which we're going to jumpstart by adding the Fritzzyme 7. This is live nitrifying bacteria. When starting a new system, the Fritz website says to add 4 ounces per 10 gallons instead of the usual 2. So this will help establish the level of bacteria we need to seed the tank and filter. And don't forget to prime your filter with water before plugging it in. You don't want to run your motor dry if you can help it. Now we're just going to make sure that our wires are seated correctly under the lid to keep them out of the water. And I just went ahead and taped this one to the side of the tank to keep the light switch accessible. This is a cable sleeve that I found on Amazon. I used it to gather all of these wires together and keep them protected and out of the way. And I think I accomplished my goal of making a quarantine tank that looks like it belongs in this small, peaceful space. What do you think? If you'd like to see what the fish think, I'll leave a link for parts 2 and 3 where I add the fish after balancing the water in a new tank when you don't have established seeded filter material to just throw in there, as well as no plants to help balance things. So follow me over there to part 2 for preparing the water and battling the nitrite spike, and part 3 if you want to see the full white platinum fancy guppies and the Medaka Red King glitter Japanese rice fish with their little rosy cheeks. They get along like little besties. So I'll see you over there. Come on.